Are you looking for 10 best things to do in Memphis? First up, the King. Whether you are a fan or simply curious, you want to actually be a part of the hunters to excursion Graceland, and Elvis recording room and Sun Studio. Next, a crucial dose of records. Swim with the Elvis in the National Civil Rights Museum and the Slave Haven Underground Railroad Museum for a higher knowledge of the city's non-dispensary. Families can head to the panda showcase on the Memphis Zoo to watch the well-known march of the Peabody Ducks that parade through the Worl of the Peabody Memphis. For a locals angle at the city's records meals, records, and travel, sign up for one of the quality Memphis tours. Here is the list of 10 best things to do in Memphis. 1. National Civil Rights Museum, Lorraine Motel. Recent vacationers agreed the National Civil Rights Museum ought to be on the pinnacle of anyone's listing of factors to look in Memphis. Housed within inside the Lorraine Motel in which Martin Luther King Jr. changed into assassinated on April 4, 1968, the museum functions multimedia displays at the Civil Rights Motion with the assist of 260 artifacts, greater than 40 movies, oral histories, interactive media, and outside listening posts. Site visitors are guided through 5 centuries of records. During your self-guided excursion, you will view artifacts paramount to the motion, along with a Greyhound bus ridden with the aid of using Freedom Riders. You'll additionally have the risk to look King's Lodge room, in which he spent his very last hours. Reviewers defined the museum as surreal and incredibly shifting. They went directly to be aware the staging of the famous is pinnacle notch, and stated the museum helped place seminal occasions of the length into context for a higher standard knowledge of the motion. Visitors ought to price range at the least to 3 hours to excursion the whole facility. The museum is likewise a featured prevent on a few of the quality Memphis tours. 2. Stax Museum of American Soul Music. Sitting at the unique web page of the Stax Record Studio, this museum commemorates the musicians who recorded on this mythical space, in addition to different American soul legends. Among the museum's series of greater than 2,000 artifacts, interactive famous, movies, and galleries, you will see Isaac Hayes' custom Cadillac Eldorado, which changed into bought as a part of his renegotiated address Stax in 1972. The relic is equipped with a few uncommon amenities, along with a TV, a refrigerated minibar, and 24-karat gold outside trim. Recent site visitors praised the best of the memorabilia on show and the introductory movie screened at the start of the self-guided excursion. Though reviewers do warn that there is loads of records to examine and absorb, they known as the Enjoy Fascinating. If you want a ruin from reading, you could bust a flow out at the Express Yourself dance floor. Some other factor of reward for latest site visitors. The studio is likewise a featured prevent on a few of the quality Memphis tours. 3. Sun Studio. Often known as the birthplace of rock and roll, Sun Studio is a must-see for track aficionados. Former proprietor Sam Phillips helped release many a track career, along with that of Elvis, B.B. King, Roy Orbison, and Johnny Cash. In latest years, the studio has been utilized by artists like Justin Townes Earl, Grace Potter, and the Nocturnals, and the Walkmen, amongst others. On your guided excursion, you will pay attention memories approximately the mythical musicians who recorded right here. Concentrate to unreleased tracks and spot memorabilia from the studio's heyday. Recent site visitors stated Sun Studio is the whole thing Graceland isn't. Authentic, non-public, and quirky. Reviewers stated the excursion publications have been informed and exciting, with many calling the enjoy shifting or even spine-tingling. Since that is the sort of famous enchantment, vacationers advocate arriving as quickly because the studio opens to keep away from having to watch for an excursion spot. All tickets are booked in individual at the day of the excursion. 11. Though you should purchase a pay-as-you-go voucher online to be exchanged for a price tag upon your arrival on the studio. Note that prepaying online will now no longer assure you a gap on a particular excursion, and you will want a price range at the least weeks to get hold of your voucher with inside the mail. 4. Peabody Ducks. Originally built in 1925, the Peabody Memphis has held a long status recognition as one of the greatest motels with inside the South. While the constructing itself is pretty breathtaking, the actual enchantment right here is the march of the Peabody Ducks. In fact, the geese are a featured prevent on a few of the quality Memphis tours. Since the 1940s, those North American mallards were a staple function of the ancient Inn. Visit around 11 a.m. whilst the geese make their manner from their royal duck palace at the inn's rooftop down the crimson carpet through the inn foyer and into the Peabody fountain. Join the onlookers that acquire alongside the carpet to faucet their feet to the beat of John Philip Sousa's King Cotton March because the geese waddle beyond. At 5 p.m., the track alternatives up once more, and the geese hop out of the fountain and make their manner again alongside the crimson carpet to their domestic. 5. Graceland. With this city's sturdy musical identity, there is absolute confidence as to why Elvis Presley selected Memphis as his kingdom. Graceland, placed about 10 miles south of downtown Memphis, is one of the maximum visited personal houses inside the country. When you prevent with the aid of using for excursion, you will see the king's well-known jungle room, red Cadillac, document series, or even footwear, and presents dispatched to him from avid enthusiasts. Elvis' grave is likewise placed at the Graceland grounds. As you excursion the domestic, you will have the assist of an iPad to manual you through the rooms, plus audio narration with the aid of using actor John Stamos. While a few site visitors declare Graceland is overpriced and too crowded, maximum agree journeying is a must, even for non-enthusiasts. Reviewers additionally supplied some tips. Get to the residence early to keep away from the crowds. Do not carry something you might not want for the excursion. You will be juggling headphones and an iPad as you wander the residence. And take a look at what the Site Visitors Bureau for offers and reductions on tickets. Also, make sure to test Graceland's internet site to look if any occasions are taking location at some stage in your go-to. After traveling the residence, take into account journeying Elvis Presley's Memphis at Graceland, a 200,000 rectangular foot amusement complicated packed with eating places, museum famous, present stores, and greater. 6. Beale Street. Are you searching out the coronary heart and soul of Memphis lifestyle? Head over to Beale Street. It changed into right here that the blues changed into born, and lots of well-known musicians, along with B.B. King, Alberta Hunter, and Isaac Hayes, were given their start. During the day, shops and eating places beckon with track memorabilia and savory barbecue. At the same time as at night, the vicinity among 2nd and 4th Streets involves lifestyles as several estate track golf equipment open their doorways to track enthusiasts of all types. The Beale Street vicinity is likewise domestic to numerous famous attractions, along with the Orpheum Theater, the W.C. Handy House Museum, and the New Daisy Theater. Recent site visitors to find the environment on Beale Street is buzzing. Way to the form of state track that pours from the golf equipment stationed alongside the street, though reviewers say that is a must-see whilst in Memphis. In addition, they warned crowds can develop stifling, specifically at the weekends. Beale Street additionally hosts a number of fairs at some stage in the year, which a few vacationers recommended averting because of the headache-inducing crowds and traffic. Beale Street is likewise a featured prevent on a few of the quality Memphis tours. 7. Bell's Museum of Asian and Judaic Art. At 24,000 rectangular feet, the Bell's Museum shows greater than 400 items throughout 5 everlasting galleries, 3 of those residents Asian artwork, a whole lot of which dates again to the Qing Dynasty of China 1644 to 1912. The 4th showcase functions modern-day Judaic pieces, and the 5th serves because the Holocaust Memorial Gallery. The museum is unofficially called the Jade Museum because of its great series of jade sculptures. Recent site visitors have known as the Bell's Museum a hidden gem in Memphis, noting that the brilliant series of Asian artwork competitors famous in China itself. They stated that the aggregate of Judaic and Asian artwork is uncommon, however spectacular, and that the Holocaust Memorial Gallery left them speechless. 8. Memphis Zoo. The Memphis Zoo's hieroglyphics-clad entryway ends in a primate habitat, indoor and wolf enclosures with inside the Teton Trek, a nocturnal animal showcase, a tremendous huge cat vicinity, and the Zambezi River Hippocamp, amongst different famous. All in all, you could examine about 4,500 animals, along with the ever-famous massive pandas, Yaya and Lila, in environments designed to imitate their herbal habitats. The zoo spans 70 acres, however latest site visitors stated it is well prepared, and visibility of the animals is great. Little legs don't have any problem navigating the grounds, and lectures at the zoo's Bushy Pals show exciting for all ages. Travelers who currently pay to go to the zoo stated it changed into hit. specifically with younger youngsters. To beat the crowds, reviewers endorsed attending to the zoo with Inside the Morning. The zoo does provide an on-web page cafe and numerous meal stands at some stage in the facility. However, latest site visitors stated the meals is overpriced and now no longer satisfying. If you could, try and present a picnic or plan to devour at close by Overton Square after your go-to. 9. Slave Haven Underground Railroad Museum. The Slave Haven Underground Railroad Museum, or the Burkle Estate, attracts site visitors again to the pre-Civil War era. The important residence changed into as soon as used as a refuge for slaves alongside the Underground Railroad. The domestics proprietor, Jacob Burkle, changed into part of the anti-slavery motion and supplied safe haven to the ones seeking to break out slavery. The 19th century domestic is packed with mystery passages and lure doorways that have been utilized by runaway slaves trying to flee north to freedom. The property additionally functions artifacts portraying the brutal situations for slaves with inside the South. Recent site visitors agreed that at the same time as the museum is small, it is complete of records and gives an effective check out the lives of enslaved humans at some stage in this time. Reviewers stated the excursion publications have been informative and engaging and define the enjoy as a shifting records lesson. Because excursion capacities are confined because of COVID-19, it is recommended which you ebook a excursion earlier to stable a gap. 10. Pink Palace Family of Museums. If you have got youngsters in tow, plan on preventing with the aid of using the Pink Palace Family of Museums. Housed in a flamboyant red mansion built with the aid of using grocery store wealthy person Clarence Saunder, the museum is devoted to teaching site visitors on records and lifestyle with a number of interactive famous. You could see a complete-scale replica of a unique Piggly Wiggly store and spend a while on the famous dinosaur showcase, the miniature circus, the planetarium, and the IMAX Theater. The huge form of shows will enchantment to site visitors of all ages. Recent site visitors stated the museum excels at exploring a numerous array of topics, making it smooth for everybody on your institution to discover something that piques their interest. However, a few reviewers complained of the excessive admission price.